Good morning, colleagues. Ukrainian Crisis Media Center continues its work, and we will work on fighting corruption at the Ministry of Agricultural Policy of Ukraine. Viktor Redchenko, senior expert on corruption prevention and detection, will speak. Welcome. Good morning. At the beginning of this year, after the new minister was appointed, he set specific tasks to fight corruption in all systems of agrarian policy of Ukraine that relate to specific ministry agencies and companies. This work was done in several directions to test whether anti-corruption legislation is followed, also audit of money used by ministry companies and financial diagnostics of state companies. Let me tell you about the sector that I represent, the sector of fighting and preventing corruption. I will report on the tasks that we have fulfilled to ensure strict control to prevent corruption. Second, assign specific control to monitoring anti-corruption legislation in the Ministry of Agrarian Policy of Ukraine, and to fulfill the legislation of Ukraine to fight conflict of interest and to inform the public on prevention and fighting corruption. What was done by the sector in 2015? During 2015, 12 checks of following anti-corruption legislation was done in 15 different agencies. Some corrections and misuses were discovered and stopped. For example, the Fishing Agency of Ukraine was checked, and the materials of crimes committed by the officials of state fisheries and the Water Use Agency during 2013, 2014, 2015. These facts were given to police. And Mr. Skoropad, who was fired from their position. Also, we checked Urozhai, a state company. As a result, Odessa police received a set of documents to begin pre-trial investigation for Soroka in his abuse of power, abuse of position, lack of payments of salaries to the workers. Then Babovish company was also checked, and the crimes were discovered in Zakarpattia region. So the local police received the documents against Mr. Sinoda. If you could speak slower, please. When the properties of state company were illegally privatized by Mr. Sinoda, and more than 1 million hryvnia were stolen from the state. Fourth, we have discovered administrative corruption crime by Ms. Beliavska, the director of Selection Institute. She has not reported on conflict of interests that she has known of. This case was investigated and administrative punishments were assigned. Fifth, we are now working to cancel 5 agreements of purchasing of real estate by Uzhgorodsky company, and now these properties are returned in the ownership of the state, and we'll keep informing you about the events in our investigations, developments, and the officials that would be punished. Ukrainian radio. Christina Serbiak, please tell us about the 7 agreements, the properties that were returned. We have made the checks of 7 sales and purchase agreement to include properties that belong to Uzhgorodsky factory, and this is part of the state companies list that could not be privatized, yet unfortunately they have still signed 7 agreements of selling off the properties, the real estate of this company. So now we are doing investigation and canceling those agreements that have been signed last year. More questions, please introduce yourselves. Jaroslava Loborodka, Arna Hazeta. Bilavsky's story. I attended the court session, and the court did not recognize her as guilty. Is she really punished? And is the crime real? The protocol about corruption. What court? The district court recognized her as not. Recognized her as not guilty. I don't know which court that was, but she was assigned as guilty. No questions or clarification. And this will